How do you tell a player who just rediscovered his love for hockey that you might trade him away? That's the gut-wrenching dilemma facing the Montreal Canadiens as Patrik Laine opens his heart about wanting to stay, while trade rumors swirl around him like a relentless storm. In a sports world obsessed with cold calculations and salary cap mathematics, sometimes the most devastating stories are the human ones. Here, we have a talented sniper who found his joy again in Montreal's embrace, publicly declaring his desire to build something special with the Canadiens, only to face the harsh reality that business might trump sentiment. When Patrik Laine spoke to reporters this week, his words carried the weight of genuine emotion. "I would be more than happy to play here, obviously. It's been an absolute pleasure to be part of this city and this organization for a year," he said, his voice reflecting the sincerity that often gets lost in typical hockey media scrums. But it was his follow-up comment that truly revealed the depth of his transformation. Joining the Canadiens had reignited his passion for the game itself. "I definitely see myself playing here longer. We'll see what happens." Those words weren't just contract negotiation tactics. They were the honest reflections of a player who had found his hockey home. Think about the journey that brought Laine to this moment. The Finnish sniper arrived in Montreal carrying the baggage of inconsistent seasons, injury struggles, and questions about whether his elite, goal-scoring days were behind him. Yet something magical happened in the city that breathes hockey. The pressure, the passion, the historic weight of the Bleu Blanc Rouge. It all combined to resurrect the player many thought was fading into mediocrity. Here's where the story becomes genuinely heartbreaking. While Laine pours his heart out about wanting to stay, the cold mathematics of professional hockey tell a different tale. He's in the final year of his current deal, making him either an extension candidate or prime trade bait. The timing couldn't be more cruel. Montreal finds itself in that delicate phase where rebuilding meets competing. They've accumulated young talent, they have salary cap flexibility on the horizon, and they're building something sustainable. But Laine represents a fascinating contradiction. A proven scorer whose best production comes from the power play, yet whose 5-on-5 impact remains questionable. The injury concerns add another layer of complexity. Laine's recent seasons have been disrupted by physical setbacks that prevented him from finding consistent rhythm. Some scouts whisper that his explosive first step isn't quite the same, while others argue that a full healthy season alongside improved line mates could unlock the 40-goal scorer that once terrorized NHL goalies. This is where hockey breaks your heart. The Canadiens face decisions that go far beyond Laine's individual talent. Laine Hutson's massive contract looms on the horizon, demanding significant cap space. Every dollar committed elsewhere reduces their flexibility to build around their young core. General Manager Kent Hughes must balance sentiment against strategy, present production against future potential. It's the type of decision that defines careers, both for executives and players. Sign Laine to a team-friendly short-term deal, and you might capture lightning in a bottle while maintaining flexibility. Overpay for his services, and you could handicap the franchise's ability to surround their young stars with the necessary support pieces. The cruelest aspect? Laine's public comments suggest he'd likely accept a reasonable offer to stay. This isn't a mercenary chasing the biggest payday. This is a player who found his passion again and wants to nurture it in the city that welcomed him back to life. Meanwhile, other NHL franchises circle like vultures, recognizing that a motivated Laine could be exactly what their playoff push needs. His name appears in trade rumors with increasing frequency, each speculation adding another layer of uncertainty to his Montreal future. The logic is undeniable from a business perspective. If Laine starts the season strong, his trade value peaks at exactly the moment when contending teams become desperate for scoring depth. A rental agreement could net Montreal significant assets while clearing cap space for their long-term plans. But imagine being Laine, reading these rumors while publicly expressing your desire to stay. The emotional whiplash must be overwhelming. Finally finding peace with your hockey identity, only to face the possibility of starting over somewhere else. Perhaps the most intriguing variable involves Montreal's supporting cast improvements. What if a healthy Kirby Doc emerges as the playmaking center Laine needs? What if Ivan Demidov's arrival adds another elite talent to support the Finnish sniper? What if the power play becomes even more lethal with improved personnel? These questions matter because Laine's value isn't just about his current production, it's about his potential production in an improved environment. The difference between a 25-goal Laine and a 40-goal Laine could determine whether Montreal accelerates their competitive timeline or continues their patient rebuild. The tragedy lies in not knowing the answers until after the crucial decisions must be made. Hockey's compressed timeline forces organizations to make commitments based on projections rather than certainties, and those projections don't always account for human elements like renewed passion and organizational fit. As we watch the story unfold, remember that behind every trade rumor and contract negotiation lies a human being who found something special in Montreal. Laine didn't just rediscover his scoring touch, he rediscovered his love for hockey itself. The Canadiens face an impossible choice: honor the emotional connection with a player who genuinely wants to be there, or make the calculated decision that maximizes their long-term championship potential. Both paths carry risk, both have merit, and both will leave someone heartbroken. In a perfect world, Montreal finds that sweet spot, a contract structure that keeps Laine happy while preserving their flexibility. In reality, these stories rarely have fairy tale endings. What's your take on this emotional roller coaster? Should the Canadiens follow their hearts and find a way to keep Laine, or should they prioritize long-term strategy over short-term sentiment? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and hit that like button if this story hits you in the feels like it did for us. Sometimes hockey is about more than just wins and losses. Sometimes it's about finding home.